Have you looked at your paws? Have you? You are now watching Farming with Duffy Ag. Alrighty, we got plenty of projects to get done. So we're gonna pull the planter out just enough, and then from there, probably see about putting some row cleaners on, just make sure we're in a good place for that. You know, we got that to go on. We got tanker work that we can get done. I did get, these are my fuel buttons for the white truck. I've had these for a while actually, but they're gonna go into the white truck at some point. I got a 20 and I got a 15. So that just supplies more fuel, and somebody was like, don't do that. You need a little bit more fuel when we're running on 60 miles an hour. So, and we're on the moderate side. But it's easy enough. We're gonna see. I'm gonna run it and see which one I like. I did get a box of stuff, and Joe Winna's, I'm gonna say this all wrong. You even told me a pronunciation. Joe Winnowitz. I appreciate it. I ruined one of my broken bolt extractors. So he sent me a set, which is wild, along with Yanko got a Kong Frisbee. I don't even know where Yanko is, but we're gonna go find him and let him run around. And then I've never actually used this, but everybody who I sent the picture that I got this from you has said this stuff's amazing. So I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Anybody who sends me something, I'm gonna announce it and appreciate it, because you don't have to do that at all. And it's amazing that it amazes me still. Alrighty, let's get this pulled out a ways, and that will allow me to open it up, and we're gonna do some work on it. Probably do some work on this. We got the pipe to go across. We got metal to go on it. What else we got? Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff. We got metal to go on this too. Some fab work on this for the gussets on the front wings. So we can do one side, because I got to get the U-bolt on this side before we get it. So we're gonna gusset from here over, and that will give us, hopefully that will give us enough room. I guess we're gonna find out, right? But appreciate you guys watching along, and let's get some work done today. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I gotta cut this bracket off because we use it for that. No, those will go right through the normal bracket, I believe. If we just unbolt that one, pop this one out, which, yeah, the springs have no pressure because they're down right now. We're gonna have to, yeah, some of them were cobbed together, so we should just take all those springs right off, and then we just take those bottom bolts, and then we'll put all the springs back on correctly. But yeah, I thought I was gonna have to cut some things and do some stuff. I was hoping they'd line up, so I got one bolt in from the hole. I drilled one on the top left, but there's the row, and the center's over here. I'm not a huge fan of that. Yeah, definitely not a big fan of that. I'd like it to go left, so I think I'm gonna have to drill all 3 holes of them. I was hoping one would line up, but what they do, yeah, as debris comes up and it's running, these spin, they grab onto it as it goes by, and it spins, pushes it out of the row unit. So it probably would be okay, but I don't think so. So yeah, I was hoping I was gonna gain there, but I don't think so. We're gonna have to drill them all, which it's not that bad, but that's the difference. I could have spent $300+ on these and had them probably line up perfectly, but What's that work out to? $2,400? No. So I'll be honest, we spent $300 on everything, not $300 a row. Which, yeah, we got to do a little bit of fabrication. They're not perfect. There's some that need a bearing, stuff like that. But for the 150 acres we're going to plant with this, these will work good. I did realize these springs go right back in. There's 2 bolt holes in those. So you just got to take the bushing off that goes in between, bolt them back up, and they're good. So, alrighty, we'll keep moving. Out here playing a little bit of frisbee. Usually the frisbees Yanko's ever played with have been hard plastic. Since this is a rubber Kong plastic, he can't just destroy them in 5 seconds. Do you like this frisbee? Because he does this. Picks it up, shakes it, tries to destroy it, and then goes and lays down for a few minutes and then brings it back. So I appreciate it, Joe. Yanko loves it. This is where we've got to. So one side of row cleaners is on. These 3 only have 2 out of the 3 bolts on, but boy is it looking good. So these ones are very adjustable. I did take apart the ones that had stuff wrapped up in them, so I got enough wheels. I believe I got enough wheels. Like this one's bad, you can see the bearing's bad, but it was all wrapped up. Same with like that one's wrapped up, but they're good. So as long as you save them before they wrap around too much, then we're okay. So yeah, I got 1 wheel to go on that side. What did I do? Oh, the wheel to go there and that to go there. That's what it is. So we just got to take those apart, fix them. I think these are just need to be taken apart. Uh-oh, that wheels might be bad, or it might just be loose. If it's bad, then we got to get a bearing for it. But I got these, I got half of it done, which that was my plan. The other side, well, we don't have 2 row units on, and people said, why haven't you put your row units on? Waiting on parts. Okay, ordered them. Yeah, I don't think they've shipped actually, which is kind of annoying. But since these are on, my concern was when I flip these around, if the row units were too tight. I think we're good there. I think we're actually golden there, and that will make it way nicer to move debris out of the way. Oh. What are we doing here? These aren't as close. I wonder if they welded this funky. We might have to bend one of these in. But the bearings are good. I had them apart, spun out all of it. Yeah. I think they're just hitting funky, so just notice that. These overlap a little more. So I'll fold this up, we'll make sure it's good. And then we'll probably mess with those at a later date. Well, once we start getting row units on. We do got to drill the bottom 3 holes for all of these, probably do that. I unlocked that wheel so I could get to the bolts. Back up. Okay. Damn, that looks good. Very, very happy with that. Glad we picked those up. Appreciate Bradley for telling me that he had them. So, yeah, no contact at all. Much, much better. Tinkering along on this thing. Got all the downforce springs moved in on the row units I had. I did have to rob some off these 2 row units that are gonna go back on, but at least I'll know what I'm missing. So yeah, I had missing clips and one broken spring. So we do have the spring and the housing, or the top of the spring, but they're all on. I did drill the ones for this, so I'll see if I can piece together 2 more row units, or make 2 more row units happy, or row cleaners happy. Throw them up here. Then those will all be done as far as I can go. Yeah, it's starting to come together. I'm pretty excited for it, honestly. I felt obligated, so I kept going. So we just got the 2 other row units. Once we get the U-bolts, put them on, put the row cleaners on. Yep, so those are all good. Scrap ones, I know somebody's gonna say save them, do something. They're just not beneficial. They'll be in my scrap pile if somebody really wants them. But yeah, I've seen very few planters that have those on it. Alrighty, what can we do now? We can weld the gusset, but we might as well wait because we got to do the U-bolt on the other side to weld it again. So if we get set up to weld, we're only going to weld that one, not that side. So I guess we'll clean up some of our mess. I do got the other row cleaners. So I got one with a bad bearing. Where is it? This one here. Yeah, that's got a bearing on the way out. Got a good one underneath. Got a good set here. We just got to clean them up. And then I got a half a set with a good one. So we'll take that one there. Ooh, I just noticed how tweaked that is. Okay, we'll take that one off. Put it on this one. Because this one's not tweaked, but that is, they hit something hard. And then, yeah, so we got to mix and match a little. I got another arm. This wasn't on Hill's corn planter. So just for Hill's corn planter, they bought all those spare parts off somebody else. So these were never on their corn planter. So stuff that's messed up or broke, stuff like that, wasn't them. We'll let this air up. We'll pull it forward enough so that I can work on the back side of it. No point in dragging everything back that way. We're gonna figure this out. Our return pipe, we got rubber hose to go on. We got a clamp to make. We got a lot of stuff to do on this truck, so we'll dive into it. First thing is first on this. Since we're gonna be working on the top, we got to get rid of this placard and make that into a ladder. I was like, oh sweet, I'll use the ladder from the back. No, those are 21, maybe 21 and a half bars, and that's 23 and a half in between. So we're not doing that. So I got to find something, and we'll do probably 3 of them evenly spaced out, and then we'll be able to climb up on top. And we got to figure out a few things while we're up there. So first thing, we got to figure out our return. We got to figure out our cradle that it's going to sit in. We got to put our pipe on. And then I got some metal to build a clamp to go around that at the end. So we're going to bend a piece of metal around it. But we got everything except for the piston up there. I haven't dug into that yet. And then we got that hydraulic unit that we talked about previously that I'll have to dig out in a minute. But first things first, we got to build that. So let's go do that first. Have you looked at your paws? Have you? Look at them. Look. Where were you? No, seriously, where were you? Because you're bleeding, or you got blood on your face like you were fighting something. That's not your blood. So what did you go kill? You want to talk about it? No? Okay. Yeah, definitely not your blood. I only had 4 of these bars, and I've had these bars for a while. Left, I had like 50 of them at one point. But we were able to cut that out. I wanted a bar on both sides just to reinforce it, but it's strong. So for the amount of time I'm gonna go up and down on that, in a year plus, will be good. But I wanted 3, so I wasn't able to put 1 on each side just to help reinforce it. But that's done. We cut out everything else, so that's all scrap. We'll keep moving though. So from here, my biggest thing I got to figure out, we're gonna take this barrel and we're gonna cut it. And we're gonna cut it so that it sits nicely on the side of that. Then we're probably gonna weld it in. I'm not gonna cut the whole size tube down into it. Honestly, we may just cut a little sliver so that whatever little manure goes in there drops back in, so that the tank does have some strength all around there. Cutting into it doesn't make it well. But first things first, well, I got both these tanks. We're gonna cut both these barrels. We're gonna cut both of the lids off, and then we gotta measure that one. We're gonna cut the inside. That's gonna be a trash can. This is gonna be used up there. We're gonna cut the inside out, or cut the level so that it sits. I did do this nice little drawing. Get my phone off here. Yeah, that was a hell of a good drawing right there. The slope of it. So this might be a little bit of a guessing game, but I got something general to work off of. Yeah, I don't know. Learning as I go. I forget what was in there. Gear oil. Everybody loves gear oil smell. What's in that other one? Motor oil. Gear oil stinks if you don't know. Alrighty. Might as well cut that other one while that one burns itself off. It's not burning, it's just stinking. Whoa, we gotta figure out how long that is going to be. That way we don't cut it too short. "16 inches is going to be the longest section of that, I think. Maybe not. We'll cut it at 18, then we can work around it. Because it's going to stick out. So that's 14 foot wide. 14 inches wide. 14 without cutting the welds is going to be here. That elbow piece is only 10, so we got 2 inches of play that way. Yeah, that will work awesome actually. So we cut that at 4. What did I say, 18? I'm sure somebody's telling me right now. $16. So 14's there. $16. So we don't want that aluminum edge to actually sit in it. That's why we're building the cradle it's welded for another plate, because if it sits in there and rubs, it will rub right through. Hey Yanko, I'm watching you. Hey! He's way over in the barn. He just walked in. He looked at me. He's going in there and doing hood rat things. Come on, bud! He's eating stuff is what he's really doing. We got it marked around 16 inches. So that will be our longest side, but then from there we can narrow it up, and actually we'll place it up there, and then we'll know the gap between it. And we mark the other side, and then we can mark around. Learning a few things from the tricks. Dylan Clark helped me quite a bit. So. Just because it's probably not good to breathe any of this stuff in, right? We got a mini bucket. Woo! We'll use that for something, for sure. I think we're, oh no, we gotta cut the one side. Alrighty, a lot of people have said previously when I level stuff out on the trailer, is the trailer actually level? More times than not, it is. It's sloped forward a little, but I do level it, and then I'm like, okay, it's just about in the middle of the bubble. So yeah, go from there. But I just built those steps, and the trailer was about level across. So if we level it out, we figure the slope's pretty well the same from right at the edge to here, hopefully. That's what I'm thinking. So if I level it, and then I measure the distance from here down, and then we go around and we take that distance off the other side. So we wrap it up and go around, cut, and then come back down. I did learn some things, I hope. So just easier if you have more hands, and you can read a tape measure instead of struggling along with life. There we go. Maybe not. So if we take 4 inches off one side, that'll drop us to where we need to be. We got some leeway. This pipe slid in when we were moving it around, so we're actually going to be like out here. I just hope well, granted, we're just going to weld this to the top. And then we'll poke a few holes down in the bottom so that it will drain out, make our lives easier. That should do it. The other ones go in some ways, but and some of them they fill back in because they use it as agitation, but we don't agitate anything when we're moving because we're pumping sawdust manure. The sand in our heifer pens and our dry cow pens, that never goes into that slurry store, so I don't pump any sand manure. Sand manure, if you don't know, it settles out, and it can settle out really quickly. And you know, when it settles out, then it gets in places that it shouldn't be, and then it stays there. Yeah, not ideal. Let's see how well we did here. I guess I got a little bit of way too much of a gap there. Oh yeah, I screwed that up. Okay, we're gonna do some measuring. Damn, it's there. That actually is gonna work. So we'll just have it sit up a little bit higher, but that way when it comes over, it sits down in it. That is just sitting there right now, so, but that is how it's gonna look. Nah, we're gonna move that back just a little bit, I think. Let me climb up there. I got it marked around, so I can pick that up, put it, clean up around there. We'll weld that to the top. Almost looks professional, right? No, I like that. I thought we were too far, but it's gonna sit up just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit, like a 1/4 inch. That'll put us in a nice place. So, will that stay there? Gotta let it cool down a little bit more. Got some gaps that I'm trying to fill, but we'll slide over here. I totally almost forgot about it. We got, stay. Mr. Flags, I forget, Dan? I always forget names. Drop this off, and what I'm thinking is this will be good on the front of the planter to hold the hydraulic lines. That is what I'm thinking. I don't want it that way though. Kind of want it right like that. I don't want it up here. So I gotta do some thinking. Got this welded on here. So I wanted some extra support because our other one wobbles around. It was a bolt through. So that actually sits down in between. When I get a chance and I open it up, I'll weld the bottom side, make everything braced, but that way it holds the hoses up from dragging around. Working on that still. Yeah, it's a party because it's thinner walled, and this welder can only go so low on temperature. I really need a smaller meg, but we'll get there. It's gonna get dark, so you guys aren't gonna be able to see much here in a little bit, but that is where we're at. Alrighty, I am done battling that for tonight. It is Sunday night. It's gotta be 7:30 by now, so it's dark. It's supposed to get back cold. I see parts of New York and Pennsylvania got snow today. Yeah, no thanks, but we'll get back into this tomorrow. We got this to do. Well, I got to back all this stuff in because I don't want it sitting outside, and fold this up, get that back in. Once we get that done, we got to build the bracket or the cradle that it's going to sit on, put the hoses on, do the other trailer, and then start working on hydraulics. So this is coming together pretty decent, but a lot of work still to do. But I appreciate you guys watching, liking, hitting the merch store. As I said, anybody who orders anything till the end of the month gets a name on a planter box. There's a ton of people with names already entered or already told me what they are. So, but we can make it all work. So I appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. DuffyAg.com. Hit the store up.